Was this our first successful homeschooling week with 0 flops? I'm so excited to share with you what happened during week 5 of homeschooling. So come along with us as we share that journey. Welcome back, everyone, to our weekly homeschool recaps, where every week I dive into what worked and what didn't for homeschooling our 4-year-old preschooler. This was actually a phenomenal week. We started with learning about our great state of Michigan, and we ended with learning about the different parts of the plant. I am so excited to tell you about how well this week worked. So let's go ahead and go day by day. So our Monday history lesson, we actually did a little mini dive into the state of Michigan, a little bit of background history on the state, as well as talking about the state symbols. So like how our state bird is the robin, how our state reptile is the painted turtle. We did this one actually in our basement because we originally had our basement set up to be where we schooled, but then we had to redo a bunch of stuff down there. So we haven't been homeschooling down there just yet, but I had posters that went along with this, and both Esme and Charlie loved it. They listened very intently. I did have some coloring worksheets where Charlie could color the state symbols if she wanted to. She chose not to, which was perfectly fine. We've been doing a lot of coloring lately, so that was all right, but she did love learning about Michigan. We actually have a field trip planned for this weekend. We're going to either go to one or both places. We're going to go to potentially Chequametum Falls, which was a picture that was in the book that when I was reading her the history. And then we're also thinking about going to Colonial Michilimackinac, which I thought would be a fun little history spot for her to see. Now, Tuesday, for our literacy lesson, we were learning about the letters G and H. So we did G is for giraffe and H is for horse. I will say I think we might be swapping some of our crafts out and starting to go back into painting. She did have me color the giraffe in part of the horse, but she did have fun. She cut out a little bit of it, and then she had me cut out some of the rest of the pieces. So they turned out really well. She did have fun doing them, but I can tell she's kind of getting a little tired of doing just the coloring and cutout crafts. She definitely had more fun with the painting crafts. And the reason why we did our craft right along with our literacy lessons this week is because we are actually leaving to go up north for mine and Clay's anniversary. So I'm recording this early. This is actually Thursday. So we're leaving tonight, and we are going to be gone all weekend. So we are taking Friday off. So that is why we went ahead and did crafts on Tuesday. So Wednesday was math. We actually did school a little bit later on Wednesday. We all woke up just feeling like extremely tired. So we kind of lounged around and were a little lazy Wednesday morning. So we ended up doing math later in the day, but we still had fun. We did a color and graph worksheet where we counted up the fruits, and she got to learn more about how to create a graph. She took it to a whole new level. Instead of just coloring in the graph, she drew each fruit in its spot. But she did really well on that. She did love doing that. I got that from an app that we had downloaded on our phone last year that I had downloaded some worksheets for. I cannot remember the name of it. It starts with a K, but I'll have it pop up somewhere around here so that if you're interested and want to look at that, but I do know you can find some other graphs anywhere. So yeah, I think Wednesday went very well. She always loves doing math lessons, so I was not concerned about Wednesday at all. Now Thursday, which as I said is actually today, we just finished that lesson and it went well. We were learning about the different parts of a plant and the different parts of a flower. So I'll show you, I did do a little screen recording of how I outline my lessons as I'm going through and using worksheets. So the worksheet, the actual parts of the plant, or Parts of the Flower was actually a free resource from Teachers Pay Teachers that I had downloaded and then kind of built my lesson around. I will say I completely forgot that I was supposed to get an actual potted plant so we could talk about it. So I didn't have a potted plant to talk with her this time around. But I definitely think that would be a great option if that is something that you would want to do to further discuss the different parts of a plant. But we did well with just the picture in and of itself. And we did the activity, which was cutting out the different parts and then matching them up. And we even threw in a little reading in with that, where, you know, as I was asking her, what does this one say? She would sound it out and I would help her read the words so that she knew which part of the plant it was. So we mixed in a little bit of literacy in with science today, but it went really well. So overall, it was just a phenomenal week. So yes, like I said, it was a great week this week. I don't think there was a single lesson that truly flopped. So I forgot to mention, but like Monday's lesson, all about Michigan, we actually found it at our local grocery store. It was this poster that came with this book, so it was a really fun thing to just kind of throw in and incorporate. Tuesday obviously was with Hooked on Phonics, and we didn't do much reading on Tuesday, but we did work on, you know, practicing our G's and our H's, which she's really good with H's because the letter H is in her name. So G's where it took a little bit more practice, but towards the end, she got really good at writing those and she was very excited about that. And then Wednesday's lesson, like I said, came from that app. And then I did mention where yesterday's lesson came from, or today's lesson came from Thursday's. So yeah, it was a really good week. I really don't feel like there were any flops whatsoever. She's been looking forward to the fact that we're gonna have tomorrow, Friday, off, so that we can, you know, just spend the weekend up at my parents' cabin and just having fun. And like I said, we've got those couple of field trips planned for over the weekend as well. So it's just gonna be a phenomenal time. And I'm just so excited that this week went so well. And I do wanna mention real quick before we sign off here that my mom was actually trying to help out with the reading. She wrote Charlie a letter in the mail and sent it and was hoping that maybe that might get her excited. We've been watching a lot of Blue's Clues lately. So she was very excited to receive that letter. I tried to get her to read it with me. She wasn't entirely interested in it at first, but I told my mom, I'm like, I think if we keep trying, I think eventually we can get her into it, and it's something different than just, you know, making her read a book or making her read within the Hooked on Phonics app. And then she wanted to write her a letter back, so we practiced writing. She had me write most of it, but I did have her write, you know, like Love Charlie, and she wrote some other things, and then she drew my mom a picture. So that was a great idea on my mom's part as something different to try to get her interested in reading and writing. So I wanted to throw that idea out there in case anybody else has a preschooler or kindergartner who is really just struggling to be motivated for that reading and writing. That is another fun idea to try. I'm hoping that if we continue to introduce it to her, she'll eventually start reading and writing on her own. So once again, if you are a homeschooling parent, let us know, what was your lessons this week? Did you have a great week like we did, or did you have some flops as well? Let us know in the comments below so that we can share each other's journeys together. As always, if you liked this video, please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you'll be notified when the next week drops. As I said, these are weekly recaps of how our preschool homeschooling weeks have gone. I hope that you enjoyed them, and that is all we have for today. So hope you have a fantastic day, and until next time.